You have all the talent in the world. The question is, what will you do with it? You know, there's a famous saying that I think has been said to be the origin in many families. I know my family says that, you know, your cousins have a saying, and I highly doubt it originated from them, but it's good they believe in the saying nonetheless because it's so true. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I cannot think of a better opening statement to talk about the Alabama offensive line. They have all the talent, all the size, all the measurables, all the length in the world. They have potentially the nation's best offensive coordinator in Ryan Grubb, a head coach in Kadyn DeBoer, who I think when he is at his peak, manages football games second to none. They have awesome wide receivers on the outside. When Jam Miller is healthy, and we should all be praying for his health, they will have great running backs behind him. They have it all. The question is, will they put it together? Because last year they didn't. This offensive line last year had its ups, had its downs. That's why they had to use the portal entering this season, and why some players had to transfer out. Before we resume this segment, please take a few seconds of your time to make sure you have liked the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and for any team podcasts and playlists linked in the description, and also comment your thoughts down below in the comment section and join my Discord server via the description. All of those things I just asked you to do are completely free, and they sign you up for things related to my channel, or they don't sign you up for anything. No cost to you, and all the benefit to you because we release daily college football content here on College Football with Sam. If you want to support the channel monetarily, sign up for a YouTube membership, or check any other links in the description for my merchandise store and Patreon page. Thank you very much, and let's get back to the segment. Such as Elijah Pritchett at tackle. They had to bring in Kam Dewberry. Parker Brailsford they had to bring in after the 2023 season, when Seth McLaughlin went to Ohio State. Parker Brailsford came in from Washington along with Kadyn DeBoer and his offensive line coach at the time, Scott Huff, who then went on to the Seattle Seahawks, where he still is. Same with Ryan Grubb, but then Ryan Grubb got let go. He's back with Alabama, where he originally was for a few weeks when Kadyn DeBoer was hired. Again, you have all the talent in the world here. Brailsford stepped in, I believe, as either a redshirt freshman or true freshman for Washington in 2023. And he commanded the offensive line to a Joe Moore Award, and a unit that pass blocked at an elite level for Michael Penix, that helped Washington go 14-1, earned 14 wins. Only loss was to the national champions, the Michigan Wolverines, that year, who also beat Alabama. And that's a game I also want to bring up here in relationship to this offensive line, because Michigan had one of the best defenses of the 2020s. It was better than any defense fielded in 2020, 2022, or 2024. The only defense I think that has an argument to be superior to that Michigan defense was 2021 Georgia. I would put it 2021 Georgia at 1, 2023 Michigan at 2, and probably 2024 Ohio State at 3 is how I would rank the defenses. And then several other 2023 defenses: 2023 Ohio State, Penn State, Iowa, 2022 Georgia, 2022 Iowa, 2022 Illinois would be up there. And I could go through that list all day because I love defense. I love talking about elite defenses, but I also love talking about elite offensive lines. And Alabama that year against Michigan, they were able to beat them at times in run blocking. With their size, with their athleticism, they played hard, they fought hard, and they played well. And that was in the ground. But through the air, they couldn't protect Jalen Milroe at all. And part of that had to do with Milroe, but part of that also had to do with the offensive line. You look at 2021, again under Saban, where against that legendary Georgia defense, they were able to protect Bryce Young. They were able to open up lanes in the ground. And yet, Bryce Young took nearly 50 sacks that year. Very inconsistent unit. This has been the case ever since Alabama won the Joe Moore Award in 2020. The offensive line has been a roller coaster relative to the talent on deck. Can this unit be different? That's my question. I have a lot of people I know who I trust who are high on Kadyn Proctor, 70.8 PFF grade with 639 snaps. I'm high on him too. He'll be a first rounder most likely in the 2026 NFL draft. He has his tackle spot locked down, and I think that he will be wonderful this season. He is the player with the least amount of questions on this offensive line. But then you look at Wilkin Formby with a 57.6 PFF grade, 291 snaps. Kam Dewberry's transferring in from A&M, where he had a PFF grade in the 50s with under 300 snaps. Jaeden Roberts at a 67.3 PFF grade with 502 snaps. Brailsford at a 66.4 PFF grade with 775 snaps. They lost their best guard and best offensive lineman, I would say Tyler Booker, to the NFL, where he was picked in the first round. And then they lost starting tackle Elijah Pritchett, who transferred out and whose playing time diminished as the season went on because he continued to struggle. I think he started the year off injured and a little dinged up and just never really recovered from that. This unit, and Cole Kublik and others who cover the SEC and offensive line will tell you, this is a very talented unit. It will be one of the better units in college football. But at Alabama, much like Ohio State, much like Georgia, and emerging powers, Texas and Oregon, not even really emerging, but for those doubters out there, yeah, they'll call them emerging powers. Good is not good enough. The expectation is to be elite. And that is an area that with this offensive line, they have the potential. The question is, what will they do with it? If they are elite, I will tell you, Alabama could win the SEC. They could win the national championship. Actually, I'll go a step further. If they are elite, they probably do win the SEC. If they play to their ceiling, and this is a Joe Moore Award caliber O-line, with the receivers they have, with what they have at running back, the depth at tight end, and the defense they have, along with the coordinators and the head coach and Kalen DeBoer, they will probably win the SEC because Texas and Georgia are just inexperienced enough, just young enough, and just shaky enough, both of them actually on the offensive line, especially after the injury Texas took at tackle, to where Alabama can outlast those teams as the season goes on. However, if they continue to be inconsistent like they were last year, the year before, and the year before that, and the year before that, where you had a lot of NFL talent, but in college you were not really a dominant unit at a consistent level, this team can miss the college football playoffs again. Or they reach the playoffs, but maybe they lose in the first round or the second round. They don't go to Atlanta. And now you're not back at square one and you're better than you were last year, but you're still trying to chase eliteness and catch up to where you once were. You've still fallen behind relative to where you were at the end of the Saban tenure, which the expectation for DeBoer and Alabama shouldn't be to play at the level of Saban. That's unrealistic. But Saban's ending tenure, his final years, I think are more attainable than many of his seasons in the 2010s, where talent across the sport was more spread out, and that affected Alabama, and his coordinator hires, his coaching staffs, and really overall rosters, even though per blue chip ratio they were just as talented, weren't really as good as his prior rosters in the 2010s and also that 2020 team that went undefeated and was considered analytically to be one of the best teams of all time. There's a lot of wiggle room for this Alabama offensive line, and I talk about it different than other offensive lines because of the expectations. So Nebraska, for example, pretty low expectations for a blue blood on the offensive line. Just be good. If you're good, team's happy. That's why Pritchett can go there and Pritchett can start, because they just need to be good. If you're Alabama, you need to be great on the offensive line. You need to be elite. I would pick this unit right now to be great. But is it near elite? Is it a Joe Moore Award offensive line? I have to see that in order to believe it. I know they have the talent to, but they've always had the talent to. And we'll just have to see how they operate this year. They'll have tests, believe me. They will have tests against Georgia. They will be tested against South Carolina with Dylan Stewart. And Auburn, is their defensive line perfect? No. But they have some players there. DJ Durkin runs a good system. Oklahoma will test them, very much so, with Dominic Williams, with R. Mason Thomas. LSU if their defensive line pans out, Tennessee if theirs pans out, Missouri's defense should be mean. We'll get a pretty good picture of who this team is, I would say, by early October, if not late September. I mean, even before they play Georgia, with Florida State and Wisconsin, if Florida State and Wisconsin, if their defenses pan out well, the players there develop and they play at a good level, we may figure out who this offensive line and team is overall before they play against Georgia on the road in week 5. Thank you for watching College Football with Sam. Make sure that you've liked the video, subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and team playlists and podcasts in the description, joined the free Discord server where we talk college football 24/7, and have commented your thoughts down below. Check out the description for any ways you can support the channel monetarily. Everything else I've asked you to do is completely free, and your support means the world to me. We're trying to become the next big thing on college football YouTube. 6-figure subscribers, maybe 1 million one day. I think we can do that. And also check out any videos or playlists, anything in these columns right here, where there will be videos and playlists. Yeah, you get the point. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.